Hello, I have here the LEGO Jurassic World's Dominion set called T-Rex and Atrociraptor Breakout. Got this for $80 US and built it live on Twitch. In addition to the big T-Rex and little Atrociraptor, this comes with a fairly big truck, 4 minifigures, and a structure build back here. Before I get into the details, as usual, I want you to see just the general overall shape and size of things to give you a better idea of what you could be paying for if you buy this thing. Yeah, the structure. We'll get to that. There are some things going on with that are interesting, maybe a little bit more interesting than they appear, but only just. Let's start with the T-Rex though. This is still almost one of those situations where if you've seen one, you've seen them all. These do have the same molds used between them, you know, from one color scheme to the next, but they do change out the colors and they also change out the prints. Now, I was informed that this was exactly the same as the one that we got in the last movie's transport set, but it's not. It's kind of close, but this new one comes with the dark tan up top rather than the medium nougat that was used for this one. Very, very similar looks otherwise. Looks like they were trying to go for a representation of the, well, it could almost be the exact same animal, right? Like literally the exact same animal with just a slightly different take on it. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether it's supposed to be a different animal in universe or not, but it's a different and exclusive new color scheme that I personally like. As usual with these, you're going to get the same normal articulation where you can rotate the tail around. The legs can be altered so that you can put it into that upright look or get it into a more scientifically accurate kind of appearance. You can get it to look like it's moving a little bit. And as usual, you're able to open the mouth. You can get the mouth fully open. You can go halfway in between the click. And then for the neck, you can go down quite a bit. You can go right to there. It's as far up as it'll go, which, you know, when it's in that upright position, it's going to be looking up to the sky, but you're still able to look down like this. When it's looking more menacing, you're also able to rotate this from side to side like so. And with the tiny little arms, you can just move them up and down. Atrociraptor is potentially a more interesting looking thing to me. I don't know, the shape of the head is interesting to me. It just feels more fresh and not based on traditional Hollywood stuff to me. There's the scale. It's still, you know, pretty decently sized. The main color there is orange going against the tan, and then they get some dark red markings going across the top. I like it. I don't know how realistic, how appropriate that this is, but I like the overall look of it personally. Still got the ability to open and close the mouth. Yeah, there's something about it that looks believable to me. But then again, I'm not a paleontologist. So paleontologists out there and also wannabe paleontologists can rip this thing to shreds. But ultimately, it's based on a fantasy movie and it's just a toy. So I'm okay with it. Big trucker, big trucker. This thing looks really beefy because it is. It's an 8-stud wide build and it's unique. Looks like it's going for a kind of the look of a Mac to me on the front, American brand with the long nose. 8-stud wide build. The cab is the center portion of the cab is 6 studs wide, but it does only hold a single person in there in a center driving position, which is unfortunate given how much space that there is available here. But what I really like about this, though, is the fact that it is different. It is a truly unique building experience. It's unique, you know, amongst the toy line. I don't think any has been built quite like this before, and it's just nice to feel something a little bit different. And it does look very rough and tumble. It looks like it would be very powerful. This box on the back looks very strong. Got a couple of corrugated steel style pieces on there, one on either side. This is nice. I think this is a recolor of this part. I don't think we've had it in sand blue before. It's very nice, and I expect to see a lot of people using that in mocks of all sorts of themes, whether you go cyberpunk, you go sci-fi, post-apocalyptic. I think there are just maybe even some castle stuff. Maybe I'm not so sure about the medieval end of it with that color, but I like the color and I appreciate its inclusion here. Some more sand blue is used across the top as well. What is this color? I forget. It's throwing me off. I believe that's a medium blue color that's used for the 1x1 with 1 stud on the side bracket right here. I thought it's a little bit more a little bit more saturated than that, but compared to the sand blue, any blue is going to look more saturated than sand blue. Also, this has the ability to open up on the back in a nice way. It's kind of smooth, and then there's this sled inside, which can just come out like this, and you can kind of put it in that spot. It's not really going to stay all that well unless you have a high traction surface below, so it's going to fall down. I wish there was a clip right here to hold on to that so that it would be able to stay looking like a ramp. You kind of just balance it there. But this insert is able to hold two of these smaller animals. So you can put this one there, just make sure you line them up properly. The tail, it'll work either way. So just as an example, there is one other one of these in the line that will combine with this set, so there's enough room for that. And then the whole box itself can just be dropped off if you want. It can be used as a trap. It does not open on this side, but yeah, just drop that off and then use the truck however you want. It does have the windows on the back, but there's nothing here, so you can easily customize this up. This surface is easy to build upon, and that's good. And this thing looks proper just like that, so throw a fifth wheel on the back or your own add-ons, and I think it's a good starting point for additional play and some customization. The structure then is a little bit weird, a little bit odd. It does give you plenty of places to put minifigures. Like if you're looking at this from an Assassin's Creed kind of perspective, there are plenty of spots where you can have figures going up here and jumping up here off to the edges and stuff. But what purpose does this really serve? We got some amber down here. We've got a little bit of skeleton, some eggs. Obviously, there's going to be some trading, some illicit trading going on here. They do have some stickers used to add a little bit of extra detail on there. I think the colors chosen work well together. This is able to attach to one of the smaller sets, which I have not built yet, but when I build the smaller set, I will show how that all goes together. But the key thing here, well, there are two key things. One, you can drive through here. This is the idea here is that there would probably be some form of chase going on, and well, this just barely fits through, just barely squeezes through, but it does squeeze through. The big deal though is that this is an elevator, and I don't know if the T-Rex is going to be up here or if it's going to be even higher up, but at some point it's going to jump and it's going to come down the elevator. I don't know how they're going to do that. It's probably going to be funny. It's probably going to be a memorable moment from this movie, honestly. It's going to come down the elevator shaft, it's going to land here, and then it's going to break everything off, and then it's going to continue on its chase. So all of that stuff is designed to easily fall apart as it did right there. Nice to get more of these corrugated steel style pieces, and then you can put it back together. Of course, as you saw before I broke it apart, there's not much value on this side. There's not much that you can do with it from a play perspective, from a display perspective. It's just so incomplete. You may hear my dog barking in the background. Sorry about that, but he exists, and that's okay. Ultimately, there's some play value over here for sure. Some decent display value, like it looks interesting, but this side is just for that one feature, and then you're done, and then he's gone. Initiating sarcasm mode now. Oh look, a Jurassic World set with Owen Grady and Claire Deering. Sweet. Okay, sarcasm mode off. No, sarcasm mode back on. Lego never makes guns. They literally do not make any guns, especially not realistic looking ones. Okay, sarcasm mode actually off now. The production work is good on both of these figures, and I like the teal color for the torso, and just overall, I mean, these are fine looking figures. It's, Chris Pratt, in Lego form, there are like 1,000 of them, and well, now there's 1,001, and that's fine. It's fine. These two figures are a lot more interesting to me because they're new and different. On the left is Soyona Santos, and on the right is Rain Delacourt. Correct? Well, forgive me if I pronounce that incorrectly. The movie's not out, so I don't know the correct way to pronounce them. But two interesting, again, different looking figures with good prints on them, except for the white printing down here. Look, okay, anybody who tells me that I should not criticize that can just go away, because this is a review, it's not an advertisement, and that is supposed to be the same color as that. That's supposed to be white, that's supposed to be white, that is white, that is not, that is gray. Yes, they're printing against black. That means you have to put down either more material, needs to be a more opaque material. You put down a different layer below, you put a silver layer down or something. You do whatever you have to do. You can make white against black. So many companies have been doing it for so many decades. And in fact, Lego has even done it themselves. They just didn't here because they didn't go through the process necessary. And yes, I will continue to critique Lego when they do things that are not good. We do pay a lot of money for these things. At least I do. But the rest of this, like the graphic design work is good. And the rest of the production on both of these figures, I think is very good. And I'm happy with it. I just want to see that particularly be better. I mean, the gray on the black came out just fine. They went with 2 layers for that to get the little bit of black outlining and make sure it comes out crisp. So there you go. The leftover pieces include some nice things. Yes, the jaw is supposed to be there. It's small enough to count as a regular spare leftover part. And this is what the sticker sheet looked like. Most of these, well, all of these over here on the side were for the pillars. The strangest things here, I will call this out in particular. These 2 stickers right here are for 1x2 black and yellow hazard stripes. What's strange about that to me is that these pieces exist and are in current production as prints. So why did they do them as stickers? They literally exist right now. You can buy them off like Pick a Brick. They're in many sets. They're available right now. So why do those as stickers when the prints already exist? All right, let's try to talk about value here. Again, I paid $80 US for this. And no, I am not going to give Lego a ton of credit for the value of this, even at retail, because this dinosaur has been around for a long time. These molds are long since paid for. So it's a new color scheme, it's a new print, and that's it. So I'm gonna value this one at retail. I'm gonna go low with this one. I'm gonna say $25. They've been priced between $20 and $30 for quite some time now. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm not gonna give them any appreciation on this or inflation on it. This one ought to be like $5. I'm gonna go on the high end for it to try to balance things out a little bit. I'm gonna say 10 for this one, plus like a figure or 2. So I'm looking at $35 retail expectation for this stuff here. The truck is an easy $30. An easy $30. This is substantial. Definitely more substantial than a $20 vehicle from Lego, and it's pretty good for what it is. So we're looking at now $65. Do I think that, and that's including like figures between them, okay? Do I think that this is worth $15? I guess they could sell something like this for $15, honestly. I just wish that this was better. I wish that this amount of stuff, this quantity of plastic, was used in better ways. Because honestly, the stuff over here is no worse or no more plain and unuseful than structure builds from 20 years ago that people got a ton of play value out of, that adults today who were kids back then look back upon with great admiration and a lot of nostalgic feelings of goodness. So I have to prioritize the potential fun of open spaces and structures that make sense. But over on this side is where things fall apart for me. Excuse the pun. I understand that they were trying to go specifically for that play feature, but to me that makes this side have very little value. So you've got like an arch here, and then you've got this platform, this little stall. So that's really what I see when I look at this from a value perspective. But even at that, trying to make sense of all that, I still arrive at a point where this doesn't seem super overpriced to me. It's almost in a reasonable range that makes sense. So I really can't say too much negative about the value here. I do very much wish that the lower print for this figure was much better than it is, because otherwise that's my favorite figure in this set. I like this dino a lot. This color scheme, though it is similar to one that we've gotten before, I think is very good, and these sets are not primarily targeted towards kids who already have all of the dinosaurs and all the Jurassic World sets from the past. So that's fine. The truck is great. The truck is really good. The only thing that would have made the truck better would have been the ability to put 2 people in the cab side by side. Otherwise, very nice. So overall, this is better than okay. It's not great, but it's better than okay. Value is, by today's standards, for a fully licensed thing, big movie and stuff, this is not terrible. You can always ask for a discount. Would recommend getting it at a discount. But I'm not going to tell you no if you like what you see here. And I hope that I've helped you to come to your own conclusions. I hope that I've shown you everything well enough here to help you to know what you could potentially be getting if you decide to buy this, or to let you know that you don't want to buy it. Either way, I'm here to provide a service and to share my thoughts, and that's it for my thoughts on this set. Thank you very much for watching. Hope that you've enjoyed this, and I will keep working to bring you even more reviews, and talk to you again soon. Bye for now.